So, Jess, this is our favorite part of any interview. We finally came up with a name for this segment. It's called Three Up and Three Down. Uh, Vinny and I will go back and forth. So we each have 3 questions for you. What are your
Okay.
thoughts of the name? That's not my first
I
question.
think it's cute. It's cute.
Okay. All right. So first one for me.
Vinny needs to get the fuck off of his phone is what he needs to do.
This is paper and pen.
Damn it.
This is paper and pen because I'm taking notes.
I am an asshole. I am so sorry, Vinny.
Oh, that's all right.
That's
society's fault. That is 100% society's fault.
No, hey, I'm old school. This is how I do.
I am too.
I
have a calendar that I like write in, and I journal, and I'm a note taker. Fuck yeah, dude. That was so rude of me. And I
got a calendar right here too for the podcast.
Fuck yeah, dude. And he's a lefty too. You love to see it.
Lefty power hitter.
Yeah.
Actually, Vinny, I'm going to switch it up on you. Why don't you ask the first question to Jess?
Okay. Do you prefer drinking out of glass or plastic?
Glass. I took one wine class and it changed everything.
All right.
but I'm also from Reno, and I will not say no to a red Solo cup.
And also, she's drinking out of a glass cup right now.
And Trevor Plouffe loves to give me shit. That was a name drop. He always jokes that I drink out of a fish bowl, which I do. But it's cute. And I'm girly like that.
All right. I'll ask you. This is one that Vinny gave me a lot of shit for. What is one TV show that you love that everybody hates?
Oh my gosh. Alex literally had me on the phone the other day. He was like, Vinny said this is a stupid question.
It's not just a stupid question.
Okay, so it's say it again. The show that I love that everybody hates.
See, now it's also a bad question. Like, then I have to repeat it. Like, that's just not.
Well, because like the opposite is easy to answer. So it's a show that I love that everybody hates.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be like the Real Housewives shows. I love that shit.
You're like, I don't hate those shows. So out of
see, there you go. I'm trying to think like if people are like Jessica, it's so stupid. Oh, well, no, people like 90 Day Fiance too. But I'm just gonna go with 90 Day Fiance and Real Housewives.
Okay.
I need to watch the stuff that's completely opposite from sports to like even me out.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Out of all the people that you could say one of the people that you've named drop on this episode, there's been so many.
I know. I love that about me.
Or just anybody you've ever seen. Who is the greatest leader that you've ever seen?
I would say Marcus Simeon, because I don't even know how to describe it. Actually, I had Dalton Jeffries on this week. And so Dalton and Marcus they're Cal graduates. So they're Bay Area people. And I made a joke. I was like, Dalton, I feel like Marcus like comes in on a cloud. He's just such a fucking professional, to the point where I just like, I don't know how to see. I can't even describe him, but you see the way that he works that clubhouse, in the A's clubhouse. And you have like Chris Davis, who's extremely shy, but Marcus manages to break Chris Davis out of the shell. And you have Mark Canha, who is a great leader himself. But when you have somebody like Mark Canha, or anybody who says that you're a great teammate third after being a great man, a great human being, it's great. And then like he takes on all this stuff and he does more. And that to me is a leader. And when he talks, people listen. And I think that's why I want him so badly to be back with the A's, because he is such a good guy in the community, a good human being. So when people talk, they listen. I feel like that's imperative for the A's. You want people to come out to those games. So I would definitely say Marcus Simeon.
Number 2 for me, if you could title the current chapter of your life in your book of your career or life, whatever it is, what would you name this chapter in your life right now?
Don't sleep on me.
I love it.
Okay. What is the best I'm just going to say best. What's the best position in baseball?
Shortstop. Done. Easily.
Wrong.
Easily. You know why? I'll tell you why. because I was the only person growing up that said, I swear this position, there will be power hitters there. Pay attention. And I was right. Because look at Corey Seager, look at fucking Carlos Correa, look at Trevor Story. Like, it was always, and I'm not taking anything from Derek Jeter, but like, I'm a Cal Ripken girl, whatever. But I always loved a defensive player. I'm a defensive nerd. And to see that they're finally having powerful shortstops is great. Marcus Semien, of course, is part of it, but I love me some Brandon Crawford too. I think Brandon Crawford is a very underappreciated shortstop.
I grew up with Brandon Crawford in Richmond.
I'll have to give you the interview that we did because he put me in my place one year. So because I was obsessed with the defensive metrics, like the DRS, they were introducing it to infielders, and he gave me a look, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this new stat?" And he was like, "The eye test," and I was like, "Done."
I just want to know what he puts in his hair. I mean,
it's called Joe's. I asked him that. I was like, "Why is your hair always wet?" And it's called Joe's something. I'll ask him again because he gave it to me, but he's like hardcore sponsored by them.
That's good for him. Good for him.
So I gave you the good stuff. I asked the important questions, Vinnie, obviously.
Well, that's what I'm coming to find out.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I need to just start asking you questions about different either.
Yeah, I don't always. I couldn't give two shits about your slash line. I want to know, like, because Grant Holmes, he's an A's pitcher, gorgeous hair. The only guy I've ever amazing. The only guy I'm ever self-conscious around my hair, because I was in the A's clubhouse this year. And I call him our liaison. He's the guy that introduces me to the players if I don't know them. And he because I have amazing hair. Like, look at me. It's fantastic. And so Fernando, the liaison, goes, I have to ask, like, have you ever been self-conscious around anybody's hair? Naturally, Grant Holmes is right down on the side. I was like, honestly, like Grant Holmes. And I finally told Grant that story today. Grant's extremely shy. And he was just like, yeah, like, you should be self-conscious around me. I was like, all right, there it is. Great human being, too. I love him. That's my favorite thing, too. If I hear that they're quiet or boring, those are my favorite interviews. I'm like, not when I'm done with them.
Number 3 for me, you've done so many podcasts, interviews on other people's podcasts, either on your own, where Rachel's asking you a question. What is one question you've never been asked before that you've always wanted to have been asked in a podcast interview?
And you know, it's weird is the last 6 months, I feel like people have been asking me the questions. I'm like, ooh, that's a good question.
Ooh, did you stump her, Alex?
That's a you should have prepped me on one. But that's
not being real and authentic, Jen.
It is a great question. Not gonna.
That's not being real and authentic. That's not like the just way.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never stumped you before. I don't think
you've never stumped me before, and I'm very witty, but I feel like that's a great question because yes, I have been on a trillion podcasts and asked the question. I will say the one question I'm sick of being asked is
that's a good question too.
Fuck, I lost it. But that was a good question. I wish I could answer it, but I don't quite.
So now you just got to come on for a third time. You can be the third time guest on the podcast.
God, I will kill you if you ask me. Actually, I've never really been asked like what inspires me. I've been asked who inspires me, but like not what. But I also don't 100% know how to answer that.
All right. Yeah. I was going to ask that, so I guess never mind. Yeah. Well, I think I can answer that question for you. Like, I think I can answer that. Well, like what inspires you?
Be careful, because if you fuck this up, I'd be so pissed off, Alex.
Yeah, like you can give me the okay if we can keep.
Well, I mean, at least we're at the end of the interview, so
right.
I said what, not who, but what.
No, what? I think I can answer the what.
All right, go ahead.
What's your phone background?
Oh, that's a great question, Alex. That's a great question. So, my next goal in life is to win an Emmy, right? So when I heard Trevor Bauer won the NL Cy Young Award, he had a Cy Young Award as his background since he was like at UCLA. And so when I heard that, when Rachel told me that, I put my background an Emmy. because I want to win an Emmy. And Trevor loved that. I told Trevor about it. Well, Rachel told Trevor, and it's good. I mean, my actual lock screen is my nephew. It's look at all those notifications. I'm so popular, but my actual wallpaper is an Emmy because I'm going to win an Emmy. It's like not even a question.
So that's what inspires you in this moment, in this chapter.
No, I feel like that's not the right answer. No. Because inspire isn't just in this moment. Inspire is that's a broad thing. And I don't quite know yet. Maybe I will. I'm curious though, Vinnie, what like notes are you taking?
I have notes on every person we've interviewed so far, and I write down different things. So currently, one of the things I wrote was trailblazer. Just do it. Don't name animals after players.
I just don't like that. Or like alcohol. I feel like that's stupid too. Here's my puppy Jameson. It's like, all right.
Like I've definitely had friends that have named their dogs like Jeter. Like that's
that's fine. I wouldn't do that.
Alex, you grew up in the Northeast. What do you expect?
That's true.
Alex, are you going to wrap the show, or are you going to make?
You have the third question.
No, I went first. You.
I'm bad at
math. This is why you don't change things up, Alex, because you get confused because you're not the math guy.
Right. I don't take notes during interviews. So, well,